Yeah, just for a minute. We're filling time for a minute. Filling
Nice.
time for the 5-1 Phils. How about it?
That's right. And the best part is it's all good teams they face.
Oh, dude, they are whooping some impressive opponents.
Yep.
I said,
Wins a win, I was told.
well, hey, I mean, the Rockies certainly made Taiwan look good, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's not do the pod for the pod. How are you doing,
No,
buddy?
no,
You
I'm
having a
good,
good
man.
day?
I'm good. I'm doing great. I just had a thrilling appearance on the afternoon shows. That was
Welcome to the
exciting.
big leagues. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yep.
It was good.
Yep.
It was
A lot
fun.
of shots. A lot of shots by you this morning. I'm sure we have to address.
Well,
I'm an innocent
honestly,
bystander in all of
yeah,
this,
they
and I
were
feel like
shots at Spike. If we're being honest, they were
no,
shots at Spike.
I didn't like that it was like he's the third guy on the show. Some say it's Fritz and Friends.
I didn't say that. I would
I know you
never
didn't
say it.
say it.
Yeah, never.
Face of the
All
show. Some say.
right, let's do it. Yo, it is another edition of the High Hopes Podcast presented by Miller Lite, official partner of the Philadelphia Phillies. Tastes like Miller Time, Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly, and we're celebrating tonight, buddy. Beating up on the big time boys. How about it? Hey, 5-1 is 5-1,
Yep.
especially when the Atlanta Braves are 0-7. I'm very happy to be sitting here at 5-1. I'm very happy to be here, to be alive for the Taiwan Assance.
Wow. Wow. Taking my name bits. Wow.
Taiwan Assance, maybe? I don't know. Look great today. How you doing, Fritzy?
I'm good, man. The Taijuan Walker is the only Philly starter to not allow a run yet. So take that for what it's worth. The other scrubs in this rotation getting lit up. No, I'm just kidding.
You got those plus 100, plus 1,000,000 Cy Young Award odds prior to the season on Taiwan.
Don't know how they weren't listed after what I saw.
Yeah.
First off, happy for Taijuan. You know, he's obviously been through a lot here. Yeah.
For real. He got booed on opening day when they were just announcing the rosters. And I get it. I get it. But like, I felt uncomfortable in the building when he got booed on opening day. I was like, all right, like, let's not. Yeah.
That's why I had to leave. I didn't want to be a part of it.
Like, that's really good.
Yep. I opted out.
I like how you just jumped right on that. You were not letting that fester, not waiting for that to come back around. You're just like, bang, got it.
Yeah. Listen, let's just lay it all on, put our cards on the table. I had a free afternoon to be home by 4 and hang out with my fam. Like, I'll take that every single day of the week.
I get it. I would never.
Listen, I'm not. You might call this. Nah, I don't think front runner's fair.
Like, no, definitely not front runner.
I'm an Octobersman. You know what I mean? When it comes to the CBP, I'm an Octobersman. And like, during the summer, I think we'll probably take Walker to more games. I'm trying to go down this weekend. Maybe. I mean, I do want to see Shohei, and I want to see.
Oh, dude. I mean, could this be more fun? I guess the last time would be like Bryce's first series against the Braves here, because that was just, Bryce is here. Oh my God, this is so exciting. But I honestly don't remember an April series that I'm more excited for than for this Dodgers thing. With them coming in at 8-0, best record ever for a World Series champ to start the season, the whole thing, and the Phillies getting it done and coming in at 5-1. And I don't care who they beat. Like, it feels like a really fun, big time matchup in April, man. Like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and obviously, if they lose 2 or 3, God forbid, get swept. I don't. It's not, the season's not over by any stretch.
No,
believe it or not. But I don't want to see them go out and get killed. You know what I mean? I want to see them go out and be competitive. And I think that what's been impressive about this team, and I think the thing that I've been most encouraged by, I guess, is how I would say it, is I do think that they are just taking this seriously. They're locked in, and I don't think they're viewing this as a series in April. I think that they want to go prove to the baseball world, hey, what happened at the end of last year was a fluke, because they were the best team in baseball for 2.5 months of last season. They were everyone's talking about, wow, the Phillies look unstoppable, and that's gone now, and it feels gone. And the Dodgers are the most unstoppable team to ever walk the face of the earth, it seems like, since the 2013 Bloomsburg Huskies. But 14 Bloomsburg Huskies, sorry, school record for wins.
Oh man,
But
damn.
the
Would have been
the
better if you got the right year the first time.
yeah. 13 wasn't great because I pitched more. But the I just I don't think that the Phillies are treating this as another April series. I think they want to go out and make a statement, and I hope to God they do. I think if they lose 2 or 3, but they're close, I think we feel pretty good about it. It's they get swept and score 4 runs in the entire series, and the pitching staff gets lit up. I think that's where people freak out. But I'm really excited for it. I know we'll break more down about the Rocky series, but I can't wait for this weekend, and I want to see this team show up, and I want to see them show out and have a little early season moment.
Yeah, again, it feels big, it really does. And you know me, and I will say it, and even if they get swept, I'll say it. Like I'm not going to overreact to something that happens in April. Now, even the Braves, like they're 0-7, they're not done. Like I'm not, but
Yeah, dude, they would if there's one
oh
team that I
9,
think could
10,
yeah. No, but if there's one team that I think could stop the no teams ever made the playoffs after starting 0-7, I think it's the Braves.
Yeah, well,
This
and
Braves team.
it's like, look, yeah, I get it, but teams have lost 7 games in a row and made the playoffs,
Sure.
just because they're starting at 0-7. But regardless, I'm not going to overreact to anything, but this feels like a big series, and it feels like there's weight to it, especially with it being the only time the Dodgers are coming here this year. And with the 8-0 thing, like you can it would have felt big even if the Dodgers were coming in at 6-2 or 5-3 or whatever, and they just whatever, it would still feel big because the whole offseason and the Dodgers
War.
thing, yeah, the unbeatable Goliath sitting there at the end of the day. But I'm so with you. I'm as excited as I remember being for an April series since Bryce Harper got here, and I got to see him play in a Phillies uniform for the first time. So it's pretty awesome.
And they pitched Taijuan today, and not that Taijuan would not have shut down the Dodgers.
I mean, I think Taijuan. I think honestly we should be bummed. Everyone was saying how bummed they were Wheeler wasn't pitching in this series. I'm bummed Taijuan's not. That's the real take.
Well, the one that should be most let off the hook here is the Dodgers. I mean, we let them off the hook by pitching Taijuan today. So
our 2 best starters. I mean, that's really the takeaway. If we do get swept, we're like, well, neither of our 2 best starters won't be like the playoffs when those guys are going 1-2.
What you want the Phils to do? They didn't have their 2 best out there, so it kind of is what it is. And who's definitely not pitching tomorrow night, James?
Jose Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado. Or grinding Alvarado into the ground the first week of the season. He's pitched 3 out of 4 games.
Dude, I'm so with you. It's like Topper, to the point you made, and it's like they're serious, and it feels like Topper is approaching it seriously. I mean, we haven't talked about it, but pinch hitting Trey Turner in the home opener, that felt like something that he wouldn't have done last year. He would have given Trey the day off, make sure the back's okay. It's early in the year, and he put him out there, and that was a big walk, and that was a big moment in that game that led to the big hit and ultimately them pulling away and winning that game. And then obviously Trey comes out the next night and has his best game of the season so far with the 3 at night and that big RBI rip up the middle. Like I'm with you. I'm nervous about the way he's managing the bullpen, but at the same time, like I think he feels like us in that he's got 4 guys he trusts, and he's like, well, I'm gonna use them.
Well, and my antenna is up on the Thompson taking this again. I don't want to say taking it seriously because I think they take it all seriously.
Yes, it's an unfair way to put it.
But having a heightened sense of urgency is all right. Let's put it that way. And my antenna's up because of something that Ruben Amaro said on your guys' show on the morning show last year, and I think it was when he didn't pinch hit JT late in the game that Stubbs played. And then I think it was you guys came back to him like 3 days later, and he said that won't happen again. Now, coincidentally, it did happen again. But regardless, I wonder if that's a message that has been delivered to Rob Thompson.
Organizationally speaking,
that's my antenna up on the sense of urgency moves because there's been a good amount of them. Now today, he let Marsh face the lefty in the 6th inning. Yep. Now I think that's a little early. And I don't know how many lefties the Rockies have out of their bullpen, but they feel more righty heavy than anything. So maybe he felt like Marsh was going to get another at bat in the game, and you don't want to pull him in the sixth in a game that you're already winning. But maybe he goes to Sosa there. I don't. Maybe he goes to. I don't think he would go into Rojas, but even Thompson, the whole messaging from the team, Bryce. There's just been a heightened sense of urgency, and I think back to what Rube said on your guys' show last year about that won't happen again. Kind of feels like a hint of that's the organization saying we knocked that off. We got to go win ball games.
Yeah, well, and we talked about it in the first pod, but you saw it in Washington. It's carried over. There's no more of the, water after the game, the kind of goofing around type stuff. It just they do seem locked in a way. And look, they didn't start last year 5-1. Remember, I think they started like 5-5 or something like that, and then they went on the run, and everyone was annoyed that first week and a half, and then they went on a run. Like, they do feel very locked in. It feels like the way they're approaching these games, and look, the way they're talking after them. I mean, the way these guys, I feel like JT, everything he said, it's been so focused and so locked in, and understanding of the situation, acknowledging that, like, I think these guys know that this group that has been a thing for the last few years, if they don't do it this year, there's a really good chance that the group is not going to be together, whether it's JT, whether it's Schwarber, whether it's whatever, Ranger, all this stuff. So I do think that they recognize that and they acknowledge that. And it's felt like, and look, you said something, you quoted tomorrow, I'll quote you, something that you've said kind of all off season and just hinted at, and we both said it, but it's something that, it's just, it feels like they are acknowledging what you said, where it's like, hey, can we just be a good team all year? Can we just not focus on a hot start and not focus on, well, we got to win the division, we got to do this? Can we just go out and just like win games all year and just be consistent and play good baseball all year? And it feels like that type of mentality. It feels like they're coming out and not just being like, got to start hot or we got to win the division, whatever. They're just like, we're coming out and we're serious and we're going to every day, we're going to try and win a baseball game. And ultimately that is the mentality that the best teams have.
Yeah, my only and I like the mentality. My only thing is I don't want them to lose some joy of the game because they're so hyper focused. Because I think that in a long season, in a game like baseball where there's so much failure, I think that it can start to wane on you a little bit, like some of the quote unquote intensity that I think that we're feeling from them.
Well, I think I think we saw that with the Eagles 2023 or whatever.
Yep.
We're coming back from the Super Bowl, the intensity, Jay and all those guys put on themselves and the start and winning games barely, and then it kind of all fell apart because of that. I'm right there with you. They have to maintain that ability to keep it light, to keep it fun, and because as much as football is a grind from a physical perspective, baseball is such a grind from a mental perspective to be able to get up and go at it every single day for 162,
and a podcast grind. I think that has to be
obviously
also factored in here. It's a marathon for us as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and
we'll show up. Don't worry,
we're there.
Show up.
Always do. But
I was taking a nap like 20 minutes before the pod. I showed up. No big deal. I wanted to take a nap.
You were on the air 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was. I was like napping ish 20 minutes before that, but I was,
Yeah, you were getting some mental reps for the show.
That's
I'm
right.
Sure.
I was resting my eyes. Is what I told them.
It's a very dad thing to say. Is resting your eyes.
You just catch them.
You're not sleeping. I'm just resting my eyes.
You catch them when you can.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't want them to lose the part of what has made this team so close for the last couple of years. And I think a guy like Schwarber helps from that standpoint. He was with like those Cubs teams that won a lot of games and then ultimately it broke the whole core up. But, he talks about Jason Hayward and the kind of leader that he was. Man, I know that there's a motivation that comes with being in a contract year. I want them to extend Schwarber so bad. I saw
so awesome. I mean, at this point, he might just be like, "Nah, I'm good."
I saw 4 extensions in the first week of the season. Crochet, Campbell.
Oh, I know. Everyone's getting signed.
Jackson Merrill. And I just keep waiting for the Schwarber one. I don't think he wants to leave. I don't think the Phillies want him to leave. Feels a little bit like the Nola thing from a couple of years ago. But man, he has been so freaking good. And that home run today, I thought he was swinging.
Oh my goodness, that was a freaking tank shot.
It was like he was swinging a tennis racket. Like it was shocking. So I hope I would if it came out tomorrow that Schwarber is extended I don't even know what it looks like at this point, James. I don't know what a Schwarber extension looks like. I mean, 3
I have no
years,
idea. I mean, as a DH, it's so hard to like evaluate that, but he's been their best hitter, obviously, this season. You know,
and he's
he's
just
also
he's
someone.
so important. He's
Well,
so important.
yes, and he's also someone who has shown the ability to improve year to year still at this age. I mean, what he did from last year to, from the year before, from 2022 to I'm sorry, yeah, 2023 to 2024 with the average left-handed hitting its left-handed pitching stuff. And obviously so far this season, it looks like he's carried it over. We'll see how it progresses, but the already homered off lefty, all that, just it feels like, especially as a DH, it feels like he's just going to age well. What he does and the way he goes about his business. So yeah, I would definitely be down with it. It'd be weird though with the JT thing
I know.
hanging out there, right?
I know.
But look, I'm with you. Let's get to the Rockies series, and then we'll get back and look back to the Dodgers, because I do think one of the other takeaways from the Rockies series that really stuck out to me, and it's to this point, and obviously I think game 2 was the small ball game,
What we do,
just,
baby. The small ball
I mean,
fills.
Nick Castellanos hitting it to the, right side of the field to move a runner from second to third, Schwarber base running, Johan Rojas, not one, but 2 big bunts in the game. Like, it was fun, but it feels like everyone's kind of gotten going so far. It feels like everyone's had some moments. Schwarber obviously has been the most consistent, but Harper started out, obviously got back at it a bit today, but it has cooled down. But Turner started a little slow, had the 3-hit game. JT, the 3-hit game today. Stottie's been pretty
Fine.
consistent, fine. It feels like for the most part, Bohn has been kind of quiet, but had that huge game, essentially game-winning hit in Washington. It just feels like everyone's kind of been getting in on it, and that the lineup is turning over. And even though they have not hit starters, they have found a way to grind out, and in some cases, 11 runs one game, but they found a way to just score runs when they have to score runs. And it does feel, and 6 games in against bad teams, but it does feel like a group that, might be pretty resilient as the season goes on.
Well, and that's the hope when you have a team that you're bringing back for the 3rd straight year, is that you bank on these guys knowing each other. I think they know each other very well. I love the way they talk about Edmundo. It
Me
makes
too.
me
So that was going to be the next thing I got to.
yeah, it is. Like, it fills my heart with joy. So I think that, yeah, I mean, they have the highest average in baseball right now as a team, which is interesting. The strikeout
And I
numbers.
believe if you take out the first game of the season, like percentage-wise, the lowest strikeouts
Yeah,
heading into today.
way to check my Twitter. Appreciate it.
Oh, was that you? Actually, who's checking your Twitter? Rhea, because I heard it from Rhea in her update.
Interesting.
But
Me and Rhea are feuding. So
feuding, yes, exactly. All kinds of feuds going around right now.
yeah, this is Jack's WIP. This is
yeah, I love it. I'm with you.
dance puppets, dance. But the no, but so they have the lowest. If you take an opening day, which you can't do that. Yeah, I can. All right, I can take out opening day. I
That was
don't
really
care.
good stuff. That was good stuff right there.
Yeah, I could take out opening day.
I felt
I
like
don't
I was
care.
just listening to like Colin Cowherd or something right there for a moment. That was good.
Many people have compared me to Colin Cowherd, and I do the comparison so well. Like Anyway, so yeah, the if you take an opening day, they've been heading in now. They struck out a couple times today. Castellanos, he still has more walks than strikeouts. We want to monitor that, which is good. But they've done a better job of putting the bat on the baseball. And JT at the end of spring training, I think he talked to Clarkey about how they know that in October we got to stop striking out and put the bat on the baseball. So far, so good from that standpoint, and Thompson, I think pregame today was asked whether it was a small sample size competition or real, plate discipline improvement. And he said a mixture of both, all three, which I think is fair. The competition, I think, is 100% part of it. But I think there's also a renewed approach at the plate that you're starting to see a different form of this team. They can't strike out all the time. They're putting the bat on the baseball. I mean, I remember looking at fan graphs for years when the Astros were at the peak of their powers, as they say. And they were always number one in lowest strikeout percentage. And it just matters when you get into to big games, putting bat on the baseball, putting pressure on defense. They got fast players in this team. They're not a bunch of slow pokes. I mean, Schwarber, Bohn, Castellanos, slow. I haven't seen like Kepler run enough to think about him,
He's
but
faster than I thought he'd be for his size. Like he beat that one out today. That like the Freeman play where it kind of ate up the second baseman. They called it a hit, but like not only he beat it out by a lot. Like it was, and again, who knows? But I was surprised how quickly he got down the line there. So that's my early take on Kepler's speed.
nice. Only one home run in the last 2 games. It's just, I don't know how you watch games, James, but it is so funny because like I'm just like everyone else. I mean, I watch every inning of the offense, just thinking about October and okay, well, are they checking this
How can we
box off?
not? Every time they swing at a ball in the dirt, I have a panic attack.
Oh,
You
well,
know?
there was times in this series when Trey was down 0-2 in the pitch hitting appearance.
Of course, yeah. I feel like Trey's been down 0-2 in like every at bat.
I
It
was
feels like.
freaking out. I was freaking
Yeah.
out. And then obviously when they all struck out 3 straight times.
Oh,
And
I know the 5th inning. Yeah, that was torturous.
that was
Not
a
just
tough
all. It was the heart of the order. It was 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
it was a tough 3 at bats for the this team has changed
Yeah.
portion of the fan base.
It was the most directly reminiscent of a playoff moment because it
Oh, it
felt
was
like
sick though.
that inning in New York. It felt like that inning where Harper struck out. Like it felt just like that. It was just
Well,
like,
it's because they struck out 4 times in the game and 3 of them were that inning.
it's so good.
It was infuriating. It was
Yeah.
infuriating. But I think they're playing a better brand of winning baseball. You know, they got him over, got him in today. I'm a big fan of that. You know, again, the city doesn't want home runs anymore. They just want small ball.
It's
So
so funny. The chicks do not dig the long ball in Philadelphia. They dig the small ball.
that's
You
right.
know,
That's
and
right.
here's something else too that I'll say, and then I want to get Sosa, but I've also, and it's funny because Marsh had that, boneheaded get caught
Oh,
on the
dude.
bases today thing. And look,
They
Taiwan made up for it by, also getting a pick off. But
shoving. Yeah. Well, what
yeah,
was that?
well, the pick,
They did that what? Like 4 times at the beginning
it
of
was
last
just
year
what
too?
it was. What are we doing? Well, so no, so that's exactly what I was going for. Is it feels like they're not making the same type of. So I was thinking this before today's game, and I was like, oh, I'm going to say that on the pod. They're not making mistakes on the other than the Harper you can never account for. I'm like,
The
oh,
best.
they look like they're making smart decisions. They're playing smart baseball so far. They're not like knocking the ball around like it feels like they do to start every season, whether they're good or bad. They're always doing this dumb crap. And we haven't seen that. And then Marsh does that today. So it was a little less impactful, but it does feel like they're playing a smarter, tighter brand of baseball than we usually see with the Phillies to start this season. So I think that's, kind of jives with what we're talking about. All right, let's get to Sosa because I mean, and of course, they win today with Taijuan and no Sosa today going in. It was like everyone's worst nightmare. It was like everyone was like Taijuan already, and then they're like, "Oh my god, how could you not play Sosa? Oh my god, he's the hottest hitter in the sport." But he is up there one of the hitters in the sport.
I think he's the highest qualified batting average.
Batting 600 or something.
Nice.
But to your point, the thing that sticks out to me, and I think it's how fans feel about him. I know it's how we feel about him, how we talk about him. How much we love having him on the Phillies and just watching the way he goes about his business, the way he plays. But I too was like struck. I feel like Steve, when you're like, I was struck by it. Like that doesn't kind of like give enough gravitas to how struck I was by the comments from basically everyone on the team. Like, I mean, Zach Wheeler called him one of the most talented players of baseball. Like, I mean, those guys, it was like Wheeler, Realmuto, Harper, like Schwarber, like Trey, like all these guys are just like basically like, let me just, kind of try and paraphrase it all. I love Edmundo Sosa. He's the most amazing person I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's what it felt like. Did it not hit you where it's like, wow, like this guy is a special human. It was nice.
And I even jumped to if they win a title, Sosa's up there with Harper and Wheeler. And like, I'm so glad that Edmundo has a title because like that's
the way they're gonna talk. It's like the whole team's gonna be like, well, I'm happy we won, but I'm really happy for Edmundo.
And I feel it, man. I love Edmundo. I really do. And
he's delightful.
Dude, I started thinking about our future together, Edmundo. He's going to be a fantasy camp legend. You know that. He's going to be down in Clear.
Yeah. You're right, though. From a Phillies legacy standpoint, if they can get a title with Edmundo, like it'll just It'll shoot him in the
Yes,
freaking atmosphere. It'll
dude.
be. I mean, look, and the way he plays it, we've talked about this, but the joy with which he plays, like,
Yes,
is infectious, and it is fun.
yes.
I always say, like, they're playing a kid's game and all that. Like, a lot of people do. Like, when you watch Edmundo Sosa, it feels that way, and that's super, super awesome.
Yeah, he's a delight. Now, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I would still play. You still have to play Stott. You can't just bench Stott. You can't just. I think
Look,
the way I
we
would.
got to Edmundo Sosa is not an everyday player. I love
I
him.
don't.
I love him. I love him. I love him.
Well,
I love him. Look, I think he could be an everyday player, but I think he's perfect. He's perfect in this role. He is the most perfect person ever for this role. Like,
I agree.
let him be perfect in the role.
I mean, we saw it last year. The great 6 weeks when Turner was out, and then he cooled off. Like now, I will say, I think he's done a much better job this year of not chasing. I think that was something that really hurt him in the past, was that he would expand the strike zone and if a guy threw him a slider, he wasn't going to hit it. So he's done a better job with that. But again, there's a lot of, well, I'll put Turner in the outfield. They're not putting Turner in the
You're
outfield.
not. He's not just going to
So
go play the outfield. Like, oh, go figure it out, Trey.
yeah, like listen, I wanted Mundo to learn the outfield ASAP. Maybe he can. But again, like Rojas has actually had I think Rojas
Nice
actually looks
start to
pretty
the
good.
year, man. Did you hear what Topper said about Rojas?
Best
Topper,
game of the year, or best game of his career.
best game of his career at the major league level. I mean, I thought
What, dude? And it's
that
so
was a
funny.
bold statement. So you had a bunt hit, another bunt and a hit, and it was like, wow.
That's what's so funny about it. He laid down 2 bunts, and
I know, and he barely did anything defensively. Like, the ball really wasn't hit his way that much. It wasn't like you would think, like, I don't know, one of the games where he made like 3 miraculous defensive plays that no one on the planet could make. You'd be like, well, maybe that's the best game he's played.
well, what last night was a winning baseball player
It was.
by Johan Rojas. So
Well, that's what he has to be, right? Like, if he's,
yes,
because we've talked so many times about Johan Rojas, like, we don't want him. I wish he could turn into a great hitter and be the starting center fielder, but I don't think he is a starting center fielder for the Phillies. But I think he could be an absolutely perfect, like, him and Sosa are like the most perfect playoff bench you could ever have. Like, they're both perfect. They're exactly what you want out of playoff bench type guys, where they can come in, they can pinch run for you, they can come in and play elite defense for you. And what you want from Rojas is him to be able to lay down a bunt when he has to, him to be able to maybe get you a hit in a big spot if he can, not be overmatched. But, like, he could be that. He just hasn't yet to this point shown that he can do those type of things, like get a bunt down when he has to every time.
yeah, and the next thing they need, and now maybe Weston Wilson can be it, but they need that big kind of.
They need the bopper. That's the
Yeah.
one thing that's a perfect. I would, those two are perfect. You need a guy who can come in. You need your stairs.
Yeah. So again, I'm cool with Sosa getting. Well, again, sometimes you also want to ride the hot hand too, and if their whole thing is
Sure.
we're gonna play guys that deserve to play, maybe. But I do think that at least in the meantime, I do think that Stott and Bohn should at least feel like their seat's a little bit warm, and saying, we'll play Edmundo. Like, we'll play Edmundo. We're gonna play the best players that are playing the best baseball right now. So I think that's where I'm currently at with Edmundo. I don't think you should displace anyone, because I think you also have to. Those guys need their playing time as well. They've been starters here for a long time, and I think I agree with you. I think he's mostly a utility guy, but I think he's a superstar utility guy. And listen, if it turns out he can handle that job, and he does push for more platoon, maybe even takes it over. Would be surprised if that happens. Great, but I understood why he was not in the lineup today.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. What do you think? We don't need to say really anything about Wheeler yesterday. Obviously, Wheeler just being
No,
Wheeler.
just the best.
Like, just a metronome. It's just like he's the most consistent thing you could ever have. We talked about Taijuan, but Sanchi,
Yep.
we didn't talk at all about the home opener. I thought obviously pitched well, didn't give up a run. Got through.
Well, he allowed the home run.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, it was Goodman. It was
Oh,
Goodman.
Goodman to make it 1-0. Yeah. I forgot. So he gave up the 1 run. Yes, but it was pretty solid. Wasn't perfect. What were your thoughts on Sanchez?
So I think, man, when he can find the arm slot on his changeup and he just goes in that 3-inning run where he's unhittable, there's no There's no more fun pitcher to watch than Chris Sanchez. I love him. I wonder. I'm curious, and I hope he's fine. But I thought when he ran over to first base and pulled up limp, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was cramping or an ankle. It looked like he couldn't get his command back after that. So I'm curious to see what his next start is going to look like because I hope that he didn't like tweak anything. But that was my first thought was he was cruising, he ran over to first base, and that next inning wasn't exactly crisp and allowed the home run. So, but I mean, from the standpoint of was up to 98, was commanding his stuff, got into a rhythm, and the changeup looked like one of the best changeup we in baseball, almost like Cole Hamels ish. Yeah, it was all there. It all flashed, and he lived up to a lot of the spring training hype around him.
Yeah, look, other than Nola, the 4 out of 5 starters have had what be happy with as their first starts, and obviously Wheeler his second one, and obviously Taiwan
Ah,
the best, the
big
best of them all.
day, big day tomorrow for the Luzardo heads out
Oh,
there.
it's massive. So we're gonna get to I want to get to the Dodgers
I know.
series
Sorry.
at the end. No, it's all good. But I was gonna say let's back it up and then let's get to the Dodgers stuff and kind of preview it.
So which bit do you like more? Do you like the can't score
The
with the
not
bases
hitting
loaded?
starters thing one, yeah. Okay, that's a good one too. It's
Well,
great. They're
now
both really good.
Edmundo did get a hit with the bases loaded, but
Yeah.
regardless, again today, 1 out, bases loaded, no runs scored. Last night, obviously, famously go down 3 straight, or not being able to hit starters, making these guys who I know are scrubs look like competent, and then turning into prime Barry Bonds against the bullpens. Which bit are you more in on?
I want the bit where they always get hits with the bases loaded. I feel like could we get one of those bits? Because that'd be sweet. I
I
don't
will
like either
say
bit. I'm
they
not in on either.
heading into today, they were hitting. I mean, they're hitting 286 with run in scoring position, which feels pretty good. But
Yeah, and look, obviously, look, they're 5-1, so I can't complain too much. And I think the
oh,
starters thing is a little fluky. I don't think they're not going to hit starters this year.
well, yeah, there's going to be a stretch where they hit starters. I agree with you. It's just funny to go through now against like the Nationals and Rockies. Now the concern is that you're not also going to face the Rockies and Nationals bullpens.
Hmm.
So and besides my boy, dude, I love Halverson. I'm a Halvey guy,
Mm.
but yeah, he got kind of Edmundo hit him last night. Whatever, but there's not exactly talent just lined in those bullpens. So that's the only thing that's concerning for me from the standpoint of like the starter versus reliever thing is that these bullpens stink, you know? So it could make it a little easier. Not going to freak out about it, but it's definitely I mean that's going to be the thing people are going to be harping on if they struggle in the middle of the season.
Yeah, look, they have to hit good pitching at some point, and I'm just not going to judge them 6 games into the season when they haven't faced that much good pitching to begin with, and they've struggled against a couple starters.
Yeah.
And they also got what, like 10 and 9 hits today off Senzanzela or whatever. Like they just, it wasn't like
Well,
they couldn't hit him today. It wasn't like he was shutting them down. He just, you know.
his first outing against the Rays, he allowed 9 hits and
I
no
saw
runs.
he's got like 9 2/3, no earned runs, 19 hits.
Yeah, dude, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's sustainable, I'm sure.
Just little too much moping from Bohm. I know. I think
Okay. Can we actually amend this? Way too much. Way too
we're
much. After
and
after what happened this offseason, like I honestly expected him to, control his features, to like suck it up and like know that cameras are on him at all times and that he's got to not do this. It's every time, Jack, every strikeout, every ground out, he's just like
when
throwing
they're
his
winning,
helmet or
when they're winning. By the way,
they're winning.
that's the one that gets me when they're winning, and that's still happening. So I
I
just
really don't like it. I
it's
really don't like it.
it drives me up a wall, and the amount of 95 down the middle that gets ripped into the ground, uh, instead of being driven into the gaps. Like, I know the moping is annoying, but the just in so the 2013 Huskies. Not I didn't think I was gonna have to bring this up today, but going back to
We're bringing it back.
I know. So obviously you don't run. You don't have like a system. You don't have like a. It's not like basketball where like the Princeton offense. You know what I mean? You don't really have that in baseball. Well, the 2013 Huskies had a system, and
Oh,
it
buddy.
was power ground balls because our infield was so rocky that our coach thought if you just hit the ball on the ground, it's gonna take.
It would hit a rock. You get a good
Yeah, yeah,
box.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
What and was so funny
That's a coach who has a lot of faith in his talent.
well, we weren't great. Now the 2014 Huskies set a school record
He's
for
like, "Huh,
wins.
what the hell can I do to win games this
Yeah,
year?
dude.
I got it. Rocks."
We're not gonna water the infield, and there's gonna be bumps all over it. So he devised the scheme, power ground balls. And
That's really funny, man.
what's so funny is that
Really funny.
obviously when I got out of baseball, that's when like the launch angle movement.
This guy was
Meanwhile, the Huskies.
could not have been further away from where the game was going.
Exactly. He knew where it was going. He's innovative. Love Coach Collins, but the power ground balls will
He
never
was
get
a zag when others zig type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's so funny, like, my roommates were hitters, and there used to be a line. It would hang like a string above the batters or above the cage, and if you hit a
No way.
if you hit a line drive over it, you had to run. And
No way. No
it was
way.
so
No
good,
way.
dude.
This is unbelievable.
It was the best. It was the best. Anyway,
It's
anyway,
like that making Willie Mays Hayes do push-ups when he hit the ball in the air in Major League.
exactly. So Bohn would have been a great Husky,
Oh,
a
man,
2013
that's so
Husky,
good. Oh,
just
God.
ripping the ball into the
It's
ground
really good. And
over and over
again,
again.
like, the ripping the ball on the ground, I agree with you, is super annoying, but, like, man, you're, like, almost 30. You're almost 30. Like, stop looking like you're about to cry every time things don't go your way. It's you gotta pull it. To use a Jack Fritz-ism, one of the great ones, Alec, grow up.
We gotta grow up a little bit one of these days. So that's been frustrating. I did get him. Did you get emotional last night seeing white rally towels back at CBP?
Oh, buddy.
It was tough to get through the last couple innings with the tears in my eyes. It was beautiful. It was
Well,
really
it
beautiful.
it has been an adjustment, and it's something that we've only gotten used to the last few years, but the adjustment of going from the last games you watched the year before being the intensity of playoff games to going to like being like, oh yeah, like the season doesn't end if we lose. Okay, hold on. Let me just reframe and refocus. It's kind of hard to get back into this, especially being down at the ballpark for the home opener. It was like I felt like an extra level of anxiety that wasn't actually there just
Oh, I
because of the
know.
last time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, because and what I do during playoff games is I usually just put my phone on do not disturb because my feed's a little bit behind, which is
Mm,
infuriating.
yeah.
I pay for cable, but like so I put my phone on do not disturb. I was doing that for the home opener, even though because people would text me updates before they would happen. I
Mhm.
would do that for a playoff game, but I needed the home opener. I don't know how
Yeah.
else to say it. So, but because listen, the red rally towels have been fine, but seeing the people wave around the white rally towels, it was a good little throwback as to what I get why they took it out. It's pretty ridiculous they even allowed it because it matches the
Yeah, it looks
baseball.
exactly like a baseball. It's insane.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's allowed. Like it
yeah.
makes no sense.
It's unbelievable. So it was good to see that last night. Mickey Moniak, like a true Phil, dropping
Mac,
that ball in left
he
field today.
was looking out for us. He knew that we were doing a pod, and he knew that the Phillies rarely sweep when we're doing a pod the day of. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a solid for my boys. He was probably wearing his high up shirt under his uniform today.
He should have. He should have. That would have been a good thing to flash to the camera. He goes back to left field,
Yeah, right.
rips it open.
Boom. Go
Still
Phil.
here.
gives it go Phils.
He almost hit a home run too. He must
He
took
did.
Taijuan
It
deep.
was this close. It was
Yep.
close.
Hit the weight room, kid. I mean, hit the
Yeah.
weight room.
It's almost
So,
cooler to get a triple, right?
and he got a hit off Zach Wheeler. So, have to factor that in. Zach Wheeler's
Mm.
pretty good.
Look, as far as it goes, there are worse places for Mick to land than Colorado in
Oh,
terms
for
of
sure.
both playing time and home stadium. You
For
know,
sure. For sure. I thought Jordan Romano looked pretty good today.
me too.
Me and Spike are in a battle about Jordan Romano because he thinks he stinks and I think he's good. So now I have to be hyper focused on Jordan
I
Romano. I'm
love
now
this. I love that you're like inadvertently forcing yourself into being a Jordan Romano stan.
I
I
will
love
die
it.
on the Romano Hill now. You know that. I got called the final
Go
outlet.
back and listen to the pod when they signed him.
Yep.
Lukewarm at best is the
Not
best way to
now.
put it.
Not now. Not now. No, but I had a caller last night on the final out, and he's like, "I can't believe in game 1 Thompson put Romero in the," and
He's
"Dude,
back.
it's the first game, and they signed him to be a back end reliever. I didn't know I had Nostradamus watching that he's gonna go hit the bat. He's gonna walk the first batter and hit the next guy and allow 2 runs. I didn't know he had a genius watching the games. So I thought he looked good today. He needs to make sure his slider has as much bite as possible because when it gets flat, it's not that great. And I do wish he could learn a third pitch, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. Kerkering works the fastest innings I've ever seen a reliever
It's
do.
unbelievable, dude. I think about we might have talked about this last year because I thought about this last year too. I feel like we brought it up at a point. It's it is he is just in and out, unlike anything I've ever seen. I love the guy.
When he's good, he's
Let me
great,
tell you, Jack, you might not believe this, but as someone who's usually looking to go to bed
right?
as early as possible every night, I'm a huge fan of Ryan Kirkering. That's my dude.
He's in and out. It's remarkable. And again, the 4 in the bullpen just look really good, and you're waiting for the 5th one to pop. Now, speaking of bits, once again, even with him now back in the organization and in the booth, they're still giving out the number 35 to random players. And
Oh, I know. What
I
are you doing, man?
I'm a Carlos Hernandez
Drew
guy.
Ellis, right? Wasn't that the last one or one of the
That's a
last
good pull. No, I think Dahl
Oscar
wore.
Mercado, I think, had it right.
So it was Oscar Mercado was the first one they broke it out
Yes,
for.
yes.
Then I believe it was the Drew Phil. Yeah, I think it
Drew
was
Ellis.
him, Drew Ellis, and then they did. Well, Drew Ellis had the 2 home run game down in Washington. Who
Yeah,
could
who
forget?
could forget?
And I think Dahl wore it and then went to 31 because they were like, "Hey, why are you wearing 35? That's Cole."
Yes,
It's
you're
like they forgot
correct.
Cole. They're
Yes, because it was going into London too, and they're like, "You're not gonna wear it
Hey,
there,
Cole's gonna
right?"
be
Like,
there. Maybe we shouldn't have
yes,
our random ass outfielder
yes.
wearing number 35.
Yeah, why do they keep doing this?
It's
You've
like
got so
they're
many
trying to
numbers to use.
troll Cole. It's crazy to me. Now, I'm still a Carlos Hernandez guy. I want to see him pitch again, but 35 was every time I see it, I'm like, well, that feels wrong.
Yeah,
You know,
very with you.
So,
It just doesn't work.
it doesn't work. I think Kyle Schwarber is going to be the David Ortiz of the next couple of years.
Oh,
My
I
official
love
take.
that. Look at
Yeah, he's a
you.
lot of big poppy vibes.
Titles included, right?
Hopefully, all the titles possible.
Yes.
And last thing here, do I have permission to talk about the book or no?
Dude, come on. Come on.
I am already annoyed at myself for how much I've plugged this book, but I don't have a choice. It's what it's I want people to read it, and I hope it does well. So I worked on it. Me and Kevin worked on it a lot, and I hope they read it. I hope people read it. So
Buy
go
the
to
book. Where can people get it, Jack? Do better than that. Yeah.
ringthebellbook.com. Yeah, I'm gonna get a T-shirt, everything.
Did you think about just calling it Ring the Book?
No,
No.
well, because like I don't think people would. If they
We
knew
get
me,
it.
maybe they would get it. But I think it's the May 27th. I think it's coming out. Hopefully, it's coming out, and hopefully, it's at your houses by Father's Day because Father's Day
Oh, Father's
right
Day
around.
present. I like
Seems like a
that.
great Father's Day gift. So I was of course because now I don't. This might surprise you and our listeners. Not the smartest guy, and I don't want to. I don't want to break any. Was it fourth wall? Is that what they say? I don't want to.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
You get the point.
Yep.
And obviously, so it's in the editing or it's in the review process now.
There's a
Or
lot of work to be done, is what you're saying.
well, we're getting good reviews from the publisher, so it
I
might
mean,
not.
Kevin did the heavy lifting, right? Is that what you're trying to say
No,
here?
and a lot of people have said that. No, no, not at all. Like Kevin did a lot. Of course, I did a lot too. We're in lockstep on this thing.
Okay.
But I was like, my biggest fear was one day the person who was reading the book is just emails Kevin on the side and says, "This guy's an idiot." Like he can barely formulate a sentence, and you let him write a book with you. That's been my biggest fear. He's also a Mets fan, which is awesome, and
It's a weird
he
decision.
and oh, I don't know. He didn't get into it to read Phillies books. You know what I mean? He's an editor. So, but yeah, he said he loved it. So a Mets fan liking a Phillies book
Wow.
gave me some confidence that I'm not gonna I'm not gonna fail it. Like it's a class. So, it gave me confidence to say, hey, maybe it's gonna be okay. And I wrote it very like meltdowny, if that makes any sense. It was
Mm,
basically just us hosting the podcast and
good.
writing a book and a lot of just like, hey, at this point, I thought they were gonna lose. It felt like a loss because this is what they did, and it was. I think it's a fun read. I think it's a fun read, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's like a fun encyclopedia look at Phillies history, and there's a lot of good Phillies stuff all throughout.
All right. I love it. Buy Jack's
Please,
book.
please
Ring the
pre-order
bell.
the book, and
There you go.
please don't
He needs your
pre-order on.
money. He needs money. Get
Please
Jack
don't
money.
please don't go to Amazon. Please go to
Yeah.
our website.
Go to the website. So you get screwed if it goes to Amazon. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and if you if you go to our website, it does include free shipping and an autographed copy. And if you want it personalized, I'll personalize it. And I keep waiting for the Seltzer notification to pop up that he bought the book, but still has not happened.
Well,
So,
so I keep waiting for the, here's the free signed copy from your podcast partner, but I guess that's not going to happen, huh?
well,
No.
I've made it very clear, no free copies,
Oh, really?
no
Oh,
free,
okay. Good to know.
no free
I thought,
copies.
here, for all you've done for me, you help me along, do my
Yeah.
pod with me, show up, help me get the job at WIP in the first place. No big deal. Here's a book that I wrote.
All right. Well, now that you make the case, maybe I'll think about it.
No, I'm kidding. I'll buy one. I'm happy to buy one. Everyone else should buy one too. It's gonna be awesome. All right. Dodgers.
Yeah.
Fired up, buddy. Feeling good?
Well, I'm feeling good until I sit down and watch the games.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel like a playoff atmosphere, and I know that the reactions are gonna be hot and heavy both ways. If they go out and sweep the Dodgers, this team's gonna win the World Series.
Whoa,
If they
buddy.
if they get swept, it's gonna be there they are. Oh my god, the people that cannot wait to watch the Phillies fail piss me off so much.
It's the worst.
They drive me up a
Why are you
wall.
even here? Just go away. Come back in October, when they're in the playoffs, we can
We'll talk
worry
then.
about you then.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just so I can't do the referendum on the offense. I do it. I'm guilty of it, but I
Yes,
can't
we
do
are.
that there they are on April 2nd. I just can't do it. We again, I think I said this last year. I think I reached my breaking point with this whole conversation. Either they're gonna hit in October or they're not gonna hit in October. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't say definitively on April 3rd that they're gonna hit in October. I can't say definitively they're not gonna hit in October. I think so far they're doing a better job of putting the bat on the baseball, and they're playing winning baseball, and they're doing other things besides hitting home runs to win baseball games, and the pitching staff looks pretty phenomenal. So sue me. I have no idea. I can't do they're gonna choke thing all year. I know people are gonna do it. If you feel that way, fine. It's just I can't. I'm surprised that we're doing it already.
Look, I think if nothing else, well, first and foremost, I think that's a bummer of a way to go through life. And
Well,
if
yeah. Well, because
like
it sets up a win. Like it's a lose-lose situation. When they lose, okay, you're right. But it's like it seems crazy to me. The Phillies can't win right now. If they win too much, it's like, well, you're beating up on bad teams. If they lose, it's like, well, there it is. Even
yeah,
when they can't do anything right, they have to just go prove everyone wrong in October, and I hope they do.
look, I'm a big sports are supposed to be fun
There it
guy.
is.
It's one of my cliche things I say, but it's true. Like we choose to do this. Like we choose to give our money to the Phillies to go sit in a stadium and watch them play. We choose to buy the food. We choose to buy the hats, the gear, the whatever. We choose to make the commitment to watch 162 games a year, 150 or 155 or 135 or whatever people watch. Like it's a commitment. Like it's a everyday type of thing. Like it is. You have to choose to do this. So, if you're just going to be angry and not enjoy it, choose to do something else. It'll be better for your health. And look, from just a purely baseball perspective, all we can do is evaluate what we're seeing, and so far so good. Like, so far so good for what you want to see from this team. And again, to the point they're playing bad teams, guess what? Sure. Yep. They're playing bad teams so far.
They did find
Guess
like
what? They haven't had a chance to play it. It is what it is. Like, we'll find out this weekend how it goes, and either way, it's April. But just to the overall points, like, we asked to come in and see them, care about the approach, to put an effort into the approach, to think about the approach. And through 6 games, both with the way they've talked and outside of, the opening game and the shadows and all that, the way they've hit, they've done that. So, like, so far so good, right?
So far so good. And it is funny they found the 2 bad teams in the National League because there's not many.
I know.
There's not many.
Yeah. Rockies might be the single worst team in the National League. Them, especially the Marlins are in the way. I would have said Rockies and Marlins coming in, but
Rockies, Marlins, Braves, all kind of all kind of the same. All kind of the same.
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for this weekend. I want to see how they show up, and Dodgers seem like they might win 120 games, but
I said it. I think they might break the record last year.
Oh, you put in a take fault? You put
no,
in a take
it's
fault?
not a vault one, but we did see the White Sox last year break the record the other way. Just saying.
Dude, I have never been a big inning guy, on MLB.TV because I was an idiot. Like I would watch it on my computer, which is way harder to do. Like it's just like too small. Now I got it up on the big screen. Big inning is a revelation, and it's the greatest. So I was like watching Ohtani live last night, and I still can't believe he hit the home run.
I know
it was like a changeup away that he hit in Chavez Ravine. By the way, at night they hit it to center field. It's ridiculous.
He's clutch. Like, not only is he the best player we've ever seen in our lifetime, maybe the best player, probably the best player who's ever lived on this planet, but he's clutch. I mean, the first year the guy makes the playoffs, bang, World Series. Like, he's just.
Well, the only reason he did nothing,
man.
The only reason he did nothing in the World Series because he got hurt. I mean, he couldn't even run. I'm so glad. It feels like the torpedo bat thing is kind of dying a little bit. I was over it. I was over the discourse around it, especially when you learn that nothing really changes. They just move the sweet spot down a little bit. It's the same bat. It's just like
not a magic bat. That was what I was in. It's like not a magic bat,
Yeah. I'm over the tush push discussion and the torpedo bat.
Oh my god! If I never hear the phrase tush push again, I'll be okay.
They got to change the name next year if it remains.
Yeah, totally.
I can't take it.
No. All right, you got anything else?
No. Let's have a day.
Let's have a weekend. How about this? We always say 2 or 3. This is the all-time, like, 2 or 3, man. Like, 2 or 3, I will be ecstatic after this weekend.
I'm in the just don't get blown out.
Just don't get blown out. Exactly. Either way, we'll be back after the weekend to react to it. 5-1 Phils. Enjoy it. And if you're not going to enjoy it, keep downloading the pod, but,
go outside.
October. Yeah, exactly. All right. Until later, he's Fritz himself.